everyone, I'm Rachel and I welcome you all to Executive Corner Expert Talks. Today I'm with Darren Younger. Now Darren is the CEO of Bricklet. Bricklet is a fascinating company that enables people to build a diverse property investment portfolio consisting of property fragments. Now here at 𝐊𝐴𝐚, we bring you industry leaders, successful business owners, market and equity advocates all under one roof to help you discover the insights of the stock market and help you understand how you can create multiple passive income streams. Here to explain more about Bricklet is Darren. Welcome, Darren.
Great, thanks for having me on.
Good to chat to you today. So, our audience will be very keen to understand what you do at Bricklet and how it works. Could you explain the concept for us and how the idea came around?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bricklet is a marketplace for property fragments. So what that means is that people can buy property in smaller pieces, and these fragments are actually owned on title. So you might be able to buy a property fragment for, let's say, $20,000. And, you know, if you've got more than that, you can obviously buy a portfolio. So we find this is very helpful for people that are trying to get onto the property market, but also for those that are building a diverse portfolio as well. So it enables much more diversity around a portfolio of direct property.
So we'd love to hear more about your expert opinion on the advantages of investing in fragments or bricklets across different properties rather than investing everything in one.
So if I use a simple example, is probably the best way to explain it. So we had somebody who joined us just recently and bought just under $100,000 worth of bricklets. So that $100,000 portfolio includes Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne. And so if you think about it, you know, compared to what she could have done, which was buy a property or just buy one property and understand, you know, trying to understand what does that look like and take a bit of a risk on that and also have a bigger risk around having a mortgage on that. It was different way to invest and have a portfolio of the bricklets instead of actually having one property. And so that's a really good example of how we're seeing a lot of self-managed super funds getting involved with bricklets as well because of that same reason. You know, if you've got a couple $100,000 of cash, you know, sitting in your self-managed super fund, you know, there is an opportunity now to buy a portfolio of property, you know, for, you know, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. People are doing this all the time now where it's a whole portfolio in one go. So we call it instant portfolio, which is a great way to look at how to invest now into direct property.
Excellent. And in terms of capital growth, property investment may not have the speed of, say, crypto or stocks, but it can deliver consistent results over time. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess, you know, I'm not a property expert at all. I'm a technology person, but, you know, I guess the difference in the asset classes are, you know, it's no different to why people buy the whole properties, you know, as investment properties or have a bigger portfolio or buy into REITs or that kind of thing, right? It's property asset class, yeah, you're right, it doesn't have the same volatility as other asset classes. So I guess that's a good thing to look at. But, you know, and I guess the diversity of what Bricklet provides is it helps to enable that much broader investment pool. So if you invest, you know, a couple $100,000 and you're right across Australia with your property investment portfolio versus having one apartment in a capital city, you know, it's very different in the way that, you know, you're diversifying those assets. And so even though the property, you know, it does continue to go up or has done definitely over time, it doesn't have that same fluctuations as what other asset classes have.
And what can you tell me about the conceive, create and commercialize theory? How is that a basis for profitable innovation?
Yeah, it's been a great way. So obviously Bricklet is part of the 𝐊𝐴𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞 Group, and that's the motto of 𝐊𝐴𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞 Group is conceive, create, commercialize, and Bricklet is one of the latest ventures to come out of that. So my business partner Giuseppe Bocelli, who's the group CEO of 𝐊𝐴𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞, I mean, you know, he's very passionate around the innovation and being able to find problems and help solve them and commercialize them, and that's the whole concept around what 𝐊𝐴𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞 Group does. And so, you know, Bricklet as a really good example of, you know, when you understand that conceive, create, commercialize model, what can actually be done, and for different industries as well. Yeah, there's a number of really good solutions and really good case studies around what 𝐊𝐴𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞 Group has done as part of that, and Bricklet is another good example of that.
Bricklet is obviously changing the future of property investment. How do you see that future evolving?
I see it, not only is it creating that diversity and kind of enabling people just to buy smaller pieces, but it's also enabling the ease of use, so the user experience. It's very simple to be able to buy property now through the Bricklet platform or through the marketplaces. You create a user ID, you go to bricklet.com.au, you create the user ID, you verify your ID, deposit money, and you buy property. It's very streamlined, and so we'll start to see people using the platform more and more, and not just because of the cost price point or the or this diversification opportunity. It's more also for the ease of use and the speed. And so at some point soon, we'll start to see things like settlements within 24 hours. So you'll be able to buy property, you'll actually own it within 24 hours or even less. As we move more into the digital conveyancing, we'll start to see trading. Eventually it'll be like a mobile phone. You say, hey, I want that property, you buy it, and then within a few minutes you actually own it. So that's where, that's the long-term vision of where we want to take this.
Excellent. It does sound like you're stepping into the future within property investment. Now, Darren, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Great. Now, with that, I'll sign off, but watch this space for more. Till then, stay apprised and invest wise with 𝐊𝐴𝐚 𝐿𝐴𝐚.